think it was about 10 years ago that we were singing It's in Every One of Us. And we sang that song every Sunday for about 15 years. And we would sing that there were a cast of thousands who all know what I know, and it's good that it's so. There were a cast of thousands. And then somebody came up and said, no, thousands is not good enough. That there's more of us than just a few thousand. There are millions of us. Millions of light bearers on this planet, millions of people being in that consciousness that we are one, that all is well, that God is all that there is, and that because of that, then we are conscious, spiritual beings on planet Earth. And I went, millions? You want us to change the words of a song to go from thousands to millions? And they said, yeah, we really think it's time to bump it up to millions. So we did. We threw caution and copyright laws to the wind and rewrote it to there's a cast of millions who all know what I know, and it's good, and it's so. And we've been singing that for about 10 years. And those of you who were at the dinner on Friday night heard John talk about our website stats for the year 2019, January through October. We have had 950,000 visits to our website in the first 10 months. We will hit the $1 million point. The million. I'm channeling. We will hit the 1 million visit mark in 2019. And I believe that it's because we changed the word in that song. And that for 10 years, we have been singing that there is 1 million of us. There are 1 million of us of like mind and like consciousness. And we have connected. And 10 years ago, we didn't know about websites, or really we had a very rinky-dink system, a basic website. We were taking videos with a flip camera, which is about this big, on a tripod. And we were putting them on the web, but we were just kind of doing that because no sense wasting a good talk. But we know that if we name it, we're going to claim it. I say that every Sunday. We have learned at Center for Spiritual Living Asheville that if we know it, we will grow it in our lives. And if we name it, we will claim it. And if we name it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, it's going to show up. Whether we are fully embracing that in the moment, or whether we're just kind of keeping our fingers crossed and, well, we're going to say it, we're going to put it out there, we're going to move forward toward this goal, and then we grow into the goal. You know, you don't just wake up in the morning and say one thing and have it pop into your life, at least not usually. When we talk about creating our experience, we talk about going for it. We talk about stretching into greater levels of reality, greater levels of love, greater levels of joy, greater levels of prosperity, greater levels of health and wholeness, greater levels of success. We stretch into that. That's why this teaching is not for the faint of heart. We've got to be tough. Somebody gives us a diagnosis and we look at it and we go, that's just a piece of paper. That's just one person's opinion about who I am and what's going on. Something happens to us financially. Somebody comes to me and says, oh, I'm going bankrupt. I say, great. Well, how can you say great? I'm so ashamed. No, don't be ashamed. You're stretching into a greater level of experience. Do you know what bankruptcy is? It's legal forgiveness. How great is that? Legal forgiveness. I wish we could legislate forgiveness for everybody, but evidently you only get that if you're going bankrupt. Wouldn't it be great, though? We are mandated by the government to forgive each other. I think it'd be great. We stretch into our demonstrations. We don't just say, well, I'm gonna create just a little bit better today than yesterday. No, our life gets a little bit better today than yesterday, but that's because we've jumped way out in front of it, because we're going for the whole shebang. We're going for joy, and not just somebody that we don't fight with. We're going for our soulmate. We're going for prosperity beyond our wildest dreams so that we can go where we want to go and do what we want to do and be who we have come here to be. We go for the miraculous healings of bodies that jump out of bed in the morning, filled with energy, awakeness, flexibility, health, joy, all of that. We go for it here. And we go for it even if we haven't completely bought into it. People say, oh, I can't demonstrate this because I don't really accept it yet. No. Ernest says all you need is 51%, just to tip the scales. And if you don't have 51%, see a practitioner. They will help you. We go for the whole thing. We don't hold ourselves back and say, well, maybe I just deserve a little bit of good in my life. No, we deserve it all. If we truly are the individualization of spirit in form as us, if there really is only one thing going on, and that is what we are, and we are it, then how in the world would we hold back? What are we going to do? Say we had a great sunrise yesterday, but I think I've used up my quota of beautiful sunrises, so I'll just have a black and white this morning, or better yet, just gray clouds. Just go ahead and rain on me, because that's all I deserve. That's crazy, because every moment is the best. Every moment is I've never seen a sunrise I didn't think was beautiful. Every moment is beautiful. Every moment is the best. We get to have the best day ever, every day, but only because we have the courage to reach out and to grab hold of it. And we grab hold of it with our words. We grab hold of it with our thoughts. Joe Dispenza says that what we think about and what we think about, we bring about. What we focus upon and dwell upon, we create in our experience. We're going to get what we're looking for, whatever that is. We could look at a wonderful experience and only decide to have miserableness, and I'm angry and frustrated, and I take that whole beautiful experience and just throw it out the door. Somebody's right next to us going, oh, this is a wonderful experience. This is fantastic. I'm so grateful to be here. And so they get a wonderful experience. The experience is neutral. We are the deciding point in our lives. And we don't hold ourselves back. I tell you, this is a marker for me, because I'm just in my psyche, million is the key. It was the millionaire when I was a kid. They would come in and give somebody $1 million, and their lives would totally transform, and they would do all this good work in the world and all of that wonderfulness. And then when I was setting my goals for financial independence, it was always $1 million. It seems to have more reality to me than billion. I don't really understand billion. Now, I know a billion is 1,000 million. I've got that, but I don't get what 1,000 million is. But million does something to me. It's like we are coming of age. It's like we have gone the 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, thank you, and on and on and on, and it just keeps doubling and doubling and doubling. I don't know who these people are. Sometimes they write me little notes. Sometimes they send some money in, and I write them back. They tell me a little bit about their lives. I don't know exactly who they are, but I have a sense of them. When our countries are consistently South Korea, China, Bulgaria, Russia, those are our peeps. Those are the people looking for something so that their lives can get better and looking on the World Wide Web. And what do they find? They find us. They don't find somebody else that's telling them they're going to hell and that there's a devil out there trying to screw over them and that life is against them. They find us because there is a like vibration of who we are and the fact that we believe that God is all that there is, whatever that energy is. It's not a guy on a cloud. It's light and love and joy and creativity. It is the unfoldment of the evolution of the spiritual consciousness of all of us. It is that which connects us. It is the power that moves through us to create every moment of our lives. We believe that there is something greater going on, but it is what we are. We're not separate from it. And that every man, woman, and child on this planet can use this power to create lives that get better and better and better. Whether you've got 12 kids in a hut, it doesn't matter. That you too can use this to manifest what you want to have, that if you name it, you will claim it. And with that kind of a power, I don't want to hold back. I don't want to have just enough to get by. I want to go for all of it. I want to change the whole world. I want everyone on this planet to be rich, to be healthy, to be happy, to be safe, to be joy-filled. I want that. And I think that we have it within us to bring that forth from people. I think that every time we see somebody as powerful instead of helpless, as beautiful instead of ugly, as lovable instead of unloved. Every time we see somebody in that state, we bring that forth. And you know, I think the news is a great place to look. Remember, the news is a call for prayer. And it's our job to know the truth of these people. To know that this is God showing up in form, no matter who they are, no matter what they say they did. You know, there but for the grace of I go I. Any one of us could find ourselves in someone else's shoes. So when we can see that in everybody here and around the world, we bring that forth. Don't hold back. You wield the power of all creation. Don't hold back. What do you want? How do you want your life to be? How do you want to see it? Then you have to discipline yourself to name it over and over and over again, even if people call you crazy, even if they say it's impossible. To me, saying it's impossible is just motivation. All right, this center, we do the impossible on a daily basis. Miracles are an everyday occurrence here. I was thinking about some impossible things that we have done. And I remember, again, back 10 years ago, when John went to the Global Heart Convention of United Church of Religious Science as a professional organizational psychologist. He was hired. We were out in the cornfield. We were an independent science of mind center. And he went out and he worked with these people. The choice was to either organizationally come together in a whole new way or put the organization to bed, go out of business. Now, this is Ernest Holmes' legacy. This is what he did, what he built. And John went out there and sweet-talked them and processed them and worked with them for 3 days or 4 days, and they came together in a whole new vein, that they were going to open up to this idea that love is the answer, that the global heart is what they want to hold as a banner of who we are in the world. And it took a while to work out some of the kinks of the dysfunction that happened, but he came home and he said, I want to be a part of this, and what I am called to do is to bring these two organizations together. There was Ernest Holmes, and then there was United Church of Religious Science, and then there was unhealed neurotic patterns. And so that split to International Religious Science International and United Church of Religious Science. And those people hated each other. There's only God. We're all individualizations of the one. Love is all there is. But I'm going to hate the other religious science organization? That's crazy. Practitioners were told that if you went to the other church, that you could not come back to your home church. I mean, it was crazy. People were loud. This will only happen over my dead body. And so a number of them had to go. But I remember when we started treating for that there is only one. There's one power, there's one presence, there's one love, one light, and there is one organization. And people would laugh at us and say, that's the most ridiculous thing. That's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's impossible. And John and I would go, yeah, let's have this happen. So how many years did it take? 12 years. And we sat in our living room every day. And we named it, and we claimed it. We called it forth from the impossibleness, from the ain't never gonna happen-ness. And we called it forth into reality and into physical form. And now there is one organization. It still has some unhealed dysfunction, I'll grant you that. But we called it forth. These things that say, who do you think you are? You weren't even in those other organizations. What do you think you're doing coming in and bringing it together? Who do you think you are? Well, I think I am God in form as me, and that I command all of the power of creation at the point of me right here and right now. That's who I think I am. Who do you think you are? What do you want? Quantum physics says that every possibility exists right now. Whatever possibility might ever exist must exist, and it must exist now. And that what happens is that as we focus our thought upon a possibility, we actually quicken it and it collapses into form. This is just pure science. The physicists had a really hard time back in the early 70s when quantum physics was really starting to come forward, because they realized that the observer and the observed could not be separated. They couldn't just put their white coats on and go into a laboratory and run an experiment without affecting the result of the experiment. And that was hard for some of them. Other ones had spiritual awakenings and wrote books about it. But the fact that the person observing the event changes the event changed consciousness. Because we've been talking for years that when we awaken in the morning and we think about what's going to happen that day, we actually create what's going to happen that day. We've been talking for years about if we go into spiritual mind treatment and we know perfect health and wholeness, that it does not matter what the tests say, what the prognosis is, what the plan is. It doesn't matter. We have changed that experience because we have changed the way we see it and how we think about it. And so in the early days of this movement, people were having healings left and right. Remember, there were no antibiotics back then. Tuberculosis was a major issue in this country. And so when all else failed, they would go see a spiritual practitioner. And they would say, pray for me, because I'm going to die. They keep telling me I'm going to die. And so we would know the truth about them. We would see them in a different light. And by observing that seemingly separate, independent person, we brought forth the health and wholeness that was always there. People came into this teaching because of health issues. I knew a story of a rancher used to go out and treat their cows. I don't need the vet anymore. I've got spiritual mind treatment. I'm knowing the truth of my cattle. And he sent the vets home, and his cows were perfectly healthy. What do you want? What are you going to name in your life? Because if you name it, you're going to claim it. Are you going to name that everything is so screwed up? Are you going to name that your house isn't where you want to live? Are you going to name that your body is not the beautiful temple of love and light that it is, that there's something wrong with it? Are you going to name that your checkbook doesn't have everything in it that you want to have in it? If you name that, you're going to reach out into the uncollapsed potentials of possibility and bring that into your life. You all know we can have things going great, and all of a sudden they get screwed up. That's because at some level we named it. Oh, I don't know if this is going to continue. I don't know how much good I can have. Oh, I hope this keeps up. Well, I hope this keeps up is naming that it's not going to keep up, that things are going to fall apart. You introduce fear into it and everything falls apart. What are we naming in our life? When we talk to each other, what do we name? Oh, did you hear about so-and-so? Did you see what happened? Do you know the news? I don't want to know the news. I don't want to hear about so-and-so, and I don't want to see what happened unless it is that we are powerful, creative, spiritual beings alive and well on planet Earth, and everything is great. Everything is great. When I name something in my life, I know that I'm claiming it. When I name something in my life, I know that I'm going to live it. And so I get very clear about what it is I'm going to name. And I want to encourage you, don't be shy about this. Don't just use the power of all creation to get by. Don't just have $1 left after you pay your mortgage payment. Don't hold back on who you are. Go for it. And if somebody tells you that it's impossible, I want you to know you're on the right track. Yes. The more people tell me that we're doing the impossible, the happier I am. Oh, you can't do that? Watch me. Watch me. Yes. So I want to remind you that the power is within you. Whether you are verbally saying it, whether you are thinking it, or whether it is so buried in your subconscious mind that you don't even know that you're naming it anymore. I want you to know that the power to change your life is within you. If you don't know what you're naming, just look at your life. Whatever it is that's there, it's because you claimed it inside of you. You name it, you claim it, and then it grows. But I think that we're on a greater path, because I think that we're all really good at manifesting in our own lives, but I think that collectively we are touching the hearts and lives of this entire world. I don't know what the tipping point is. There's some kind of mathematical formula, but I know that when we all join together to be clear about who we are, about what's really going on, about the power and the presence of God in us, as us, is us now, when we join together, we touch every man, woman, and child on this planet. I believe that we have the power to stop wars, to erase famines, to have poverty be something from the past. I believe that we have the power to lift people up all around the world. And before you know it, we're going to change the words to that song again. From there's a million to there's a billion. And so it is.
Thank you for watching this message today.
Through our website, cslasheville.org, we have over 1,000 messages, classes, and New Thought books, all to download at no charge to anyone.
Producing this incredibly valuable collection of ideas is really making a difference in the world. It's changing lives everywhere.
Please go to our website, cslasheville.org, and click the Donate button. You can support this life-changing ministry, and when you do, we'll send you a note of thanks and also put you on our daily prayers.
By doing this, you're helping to raise the consciousness of people across the entire globe. We're changing lives together, those lives that are being more prosperous, more healthy, and more joyous. Thank you for being a part of this important work and supporting what we do here at CSL Asheville.
Thank you.